What's up?
Can you hear us?
Hi.
There we go. The little things come up for me. So it means we're live. What's up? It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks. Seems like ages. It's only been 2 weeks, but it's good to be back. Episode 47 of What You're Listening To. Chicago special tonight. Plus one bloke from England in Osaka. Sarah, thanks for coming on.
Yay, hi. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Jordan, fifth time? Fourth time? Lost count? Fifth time.
These numbers get too high.
Let's say fine. All right. Bill, thanks for coming on. Good to see you. Good to have you. Great t-shirt. Let's do the housekeeping that I don't like to do. Nobody likes to do housekeeping or housework. So there you go.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, almost at 2K now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big time.
Is that you're trying to get? All right, everybody. We need a few more to get to 2K. Hurry up.
By Christmas.
We're shutting down after record 2 if we don't get to 2,000.
Yes. I thought Christmas was
implied threat. Explicit threat, not implied.
There we go. Let's see if anyone's in the chat. Ta-da! Oh, yes, I am. No episode this week. Yeah, how did that come up? I don't know. Going live in about 3 hours from now. There you go. All right. I've got to apologise in advance. I am not in the midst of, but just coming out of the older COVIDs. So, first episode, straight edge.
That's okay.
Yeah, I might be a bit more subdued. I don't know. Can anyone tell the difference? I don't know.
We'll have to see. But I think you're pretty good. Yeah. But I am right now. I am joining you in the NA category.
Negative approach. Oh, no alcohol.
Yeah. God.
You're not going to speak English. Just growl all your answers.
Yeah.
Right. This is good. If you're ever in Japan and you're feeling thirsty, actually, don't get this one. There's another one called Pocari Sweat. You see it everywhere in the.
I feel like I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's great in summer. It's like a sports drink. It's got all the things in it that make you feel good. I know, it's like what's supposed to make you feel good.
Electrolytes.
That's the one. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Pam. Yes, I am a sicko. Thanks for. All right, shall we get going?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We've got 5 each, maybe more, if we're cheeky and do a twofer. Or this is not the record I'm going to talk about, but this one we'll see. Yeah. I'm looking forward to everyone's picks as usual. So. Before I get to my first pick, I've got to show 2 records that were shown on this show, and I want to remind everyone how good these records are. It's been a while, right? I couldn't get these in Japan. I had to get them sent to me. Chris Corey hooked me up with these records, and they came just yesterday. First one is The Hell. If you haven't checked out The Hell record yet,
it's a good record.
Check out The Hell. I think Jeff Young showed this when he came on. Mm-hmm. So I was really happy to get The Hell record. And this one, I'm especially happy to get. So I think Jordan was the one who introduced this on the show.
Yes, that's a great one.
These just did not make it. Like none of my local punk shops ever got this in. So yeah,
surprising.
Yeah, right. I just think this style isn't popular here.
That was almost my number 5, so I'm glad I didn't pick it.
There you go. Yeah. Dodged a bullet from my gun. There you go.
Alternate.
It's a great record. So if you forgot about those 2, check those 2 out. The Hell, Gun, 2 great records. Now for my first pick. I got something new from Bogota, Colombia. Just came out. I guess it's members of... They're a new band, but it's members of some bands people might know and like. There's members of Uzi in this band.
Ooh, okay. Love that record.
Maybe 2 members of Uzi in this band, I think. 1 or 2, I'm not sure. And also members of Muro in this band.
Oh, love that band.
Right? So maybe if you know that, your expectations might be quite high. Now, I'm not saying this record is as good as the Uzi record. That's kind of hard to top. But this is a great record. It's just came out on Discos Enfermos. This Caverna.
Okay.
Nueva, what's it called? Nueva Paz LP or 12-inch. It's really good. I think the singer of Uzi plays drums.
Mm.
So it's like they kind of switch things around a little bit. It's like super simple drum beats. It's basically like a UK 82 kind of thing going on, but it's from Colombia, so it's like raw and it's got that like super like passionate feel to it that we like, that all those bands have. Vocalist sounds a little bit like Eddie from Vasca.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's 8 songs in 12 minutes.
Ooh, I like
so
that.
Welcome to the 12-minute LP, everyone.
Yes.
Is it single-sided or
No, double-sided. Plays at 45. I guess it's like 12-inch, like a 12-inch EP. I don't know. It's great. It's like super simple drums, really fuzzed out, almost no reverb, which is a good thing, I think. Reverb can go either way.
Yeah.
Discos Enfermos puts out a lot of our favorite like Spanish records. Great label.
Yeah, they got really good stuff. Yeah, I must have missed it. I didn't even see that one.
It just came out like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was delayed, and it's also co-released with A to Z Records, which is a Japanese shop in Nagoya, Japan. Used to be Answer Records. If anybody remembers like Answer Records, I think it's the guy that used to do Answer. He's got like a little shop and a distro on the label, so he helped put that out. Yeah, Colombian hardcore punk with kind of UK 82. When I say UK 82, I'm going to say like early Chaos UK and like Ultraviolent, like that kind of like
all right,
more aggressive UK 82, you know, like hard hitting. Yeah,
Good.
That's
on Bandcamp.
you're selling for it.
I'm trying my best. I'm get a bit of brain fog, but I'm doing my best. Great record.
You're doing great.
It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. You've got 12 minutes of your time. Go and check it out.
We can do that.
It's from this year. It's a good record. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds
straight out of Bogota.
Check that out.
That's my first pick of the day.
Nice.
All right, Sarah, what you got?
I got old record.
Nice.
It is the Rats. Intermittent Signals. Can you see it? I feel like this is where that light that is not great.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is 1981, so pretty old. This is not a reissue. This is the real deal Wiz Eagle Records. There's not much to it. It's just black vinyl. But these are some of my favorite songs ever.
Wow.
Most people know about the Rats, but just for those who don't, this American Rats was Fred and Tootie Cole, that most people know from Dead Moon. And this was their punk band that they did before Dead Moon. And Sam Henry was the Wipers drummer, and he was a drummer on this, who is fucking fantastic. These songs are amazing. I think there's a couple like songs about sex on here, which is great because Fred and Tootie were married.
They have kids, so they must have sex.
Yeah, they have the two songs, "Wanna Be Your Man" and "Haywire Desire," are on the first side of the record, and it's very, it's interesting to like listen to this after listening to Dead Moon for a long time, just because you hear like these people that are like super rock and roll people, like being like, "Ooh, punk, okay, this is cool. We get to do some things that we might not have done before." And there's a lot of that on this record. It's special. It's a really good one. So
nice.
Maybe one of my favorite songs I've ever heard is the song "Defiance," and that's a Tootie vocal song. They both sing on this record, both Fred and Tootie. It's fucking great. That's it. My first pick. Yeah.
Nice.
They're one of those bands that's a complete blind spot for me. I've never actually listened to
all
it.
the records are great.
So good.
They have 3 LPs, and they're all
Didn't
great.
someone show a different Rats?
I looked it up, as a matter of fact, and someone did in a Desperate Red. Yeah, I also like that record too.
Wow. Man, my memory isn't as bad as
that was a long time ago.
Okay.
Fog is lifting.
Yeah. That's pretty good. It sounded familiar with the Dead Moon thing.
Which, interesting enough, I showed that record, but I said that was actually my favorite record of theirs. But I had just got that reissue of In a Desperate Red, so
yeah,
that's a great record.
Yeah.
Rats. I've got something that kind of ties in with that later. Kind of. Yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
There's one down.
One down. Four down. All right.
I guess I'll go with my first pick.
Go ahead.
So this record came out in 1982 as well, or around the same era.
Yeah.
However, this record came out in South Florida.
Ooh.
It is a 12-inch. Originally came out as a 12-inch, a 4-song 12-inch. And it's interesting because this band has 4 songs on it, and it kind of goes between power pop, new wave, punk, and a little bit gothy on all 4 of the songs. It's a classic. I'm talking Screaming Sneakers.
Oh, I haven't listened to that one in a minute.
That's
Nice.
never.
Great record.
Yeah.
So the 12-inch is called Marching Orders. Again, it's 4 songs. They ended up relocating to New York City, but this is the only record that they put out. So it's 4 songs, female vocalist, Lisa Nash. She's kind of iconic in a bit. There's even a poster that comes in here. It's like huge colored poster of like, and she's totally punked out. She's pretty awesome. Great vocal. Violent Days is just an absolute classic punk rock song. It's right up there with like the Nasty Facts kind of style, like pop.
Yeah.
But it's so hard hitting. And then the next song, it sounds a little bit more like post punky. That also it's freaking great, Grin and Bear. And then the third song, I Can't Help It, is more power pop. And then finally, like the last song on the record, Abnormal Reflections, is kind of like gothy and kind of dark. But it's all the way through. It's a classic record. And this just got reissued in
Nice.
It got reissued in 2019, which is the one I wish I had gotten with a booklet. But I got the repress from 2021, which is on colored vinyl, but it doesn't have the booklet, so that kind of blows. So you can find this, and not particularly that expensive. It's about a $20 record that you can get. You can find it around. There's also a bootleg EP of it that came out in Mexico, which I also have. That came out, I think, in 2014, because I didn't think this record would ever come out. So Generation Records from New York City, which is a really great record store. I don't know if you can see the logo. Really great record store in New York City. They did this record as a reissue. So it is attainable. You can find it. And I recommend it. It's great. It's melodic. It's hard hitting. Great vocals. Perfect 12-inch.
Nice.
I've never even heard the name.
Me neither. Absolutely first time.
Yeah. And another interesting side note. So I was at that Civic show last night with Bill, and I bumped into Todd Novak, who does Hozak Records and Books. And he is putting out a book about Florida punk and new wave. That's in the pre-order stage. And he told me that, because I ordered a copy, he said it'll be out like next week and start mailing out by the end of the month. And it has a bunch of stuff and some interviews and some stuff about this band. So I'm pretty excited about that. So
they better talk about Roach Motel. They're my favorite.
Yeah, as soon as we were talking about Florida, I was like, all right, Roach Motel.
Yeah, I started thinking, what bands do I know from Florida from like '82? I couldn't think of any.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of bands that I've never even heard of. So I'm kind of interested to get the book and kind of like, figure out some stuff, because it's definitely it was a scene that wasn't really exposed to the rest of the world. It was a lot of like, East Coast and West Coast at the early 80s in America. So, but this band is freaking amazing. Definitely get it if you can.
Cool.
Going on the list.
All right.
Take my first one. What you got?
So this is the one, Mike, that I almost did the 2 for 4, but the Litovsk HININ split.
Nice.
I'm a bad punk in that I don't really buy as many 7-inches now as I used to. Just because the record player is all the way across the room from where the couch is, let alone ones that, are coming over from Europe, just because it's expensive as hell. But I fucking obsessed with Litovsk, or however you say it, Litovsk. I don't know, but I'm obsessed with this band. Just something about it. I don't know how to write music that way, and I wish I did. Anytime I listen to it, I'm just like, get super excited, but I also get angry because I just don't know how to write riffs like that, and I wish I did. So if anyone in Chicago wants to start a band with this, or start a band like this, I'll play bass in it. I will 1000% play bass.
But even like describing their music is kind of tricky. I had a problem.
Tough. Like it's got the weird anthemic stuff to it, but also it's just sad as hell. But it doesn't make you feel sad. You know, it's got it's a big ball of conflicting emotions in there. And so the one original song they've got in here, There Ain't No Answer. I just love it. Like I remember when they put it online, I listened to it probably like 15 times in a row. And the second song on each side is a cover. So it's Barrière Noire for the Baston. I looked them up.
Barrière Noire are one of the biggest French punk bands like of all time.
Yeah, so it's a cover of one of their songs on the end. That song's also good. Doesn't compare to the original song on it, just because that's probably my favorite thing I've heard in the last like 2 years. And then the HININ side, it's kind of the same a little bit, but it's like thicker sounding drums, thicker bass. It just sounds like it's a little more professional, but it's still kind of in that same scene with like jangly guitars. It's just like slightly more processed. So they do one original song as well, but their cover is this super spaced out like French language version of Teenage Kicks, which, you know, I don't know how many bands have covered that song, but they actually make it sound like themselves. Like, I don't actually really know what the Cocteau Twins sound like, but
shame on you.
I don't know. Like they're one of Lindsay's favorite bands from when she was a teenager, so I've heard it in the background.
So you've ignored it, huh?
Real, like,
yes.
It's what I think the Cocteau Twins sound like, but I'm not sure.
But
it's a French language cover of Teenage Kicks on the B side. So this has not left. I haven't filed this away. It's been sitting on the floor in front of the record player for like 6 months. I'm obsessed with this. It's so goddamn good. And I was going to do the twofer with that 12-inch you pulled out, Mike, but I'm like, I just saw the other. Like, yeah, I'm obsessed with it.
Does it sound like the 12-inch, or is it a little bit different?
It's
obviously
a different song. Like, it's still got the same, like, they came out, actually, they released them on the same day, at least, for, like, orders online.
Oh,
so I saw this one first, and then, like, 3 hours later, I got another notification on Bandcamp saying, Latoff's released a record. I'm like, all right, it's probably the same thing. No, there's another 12-inch. Holy shit. Immediately ordered both, paid, you know, the insane shipping over from Europe. But yeah, this one, it's a little bit, the new song is a little bit longer. It's like almost 4 minutes long, but it's got a couple different breaks. It's got a really cool bridge in there. It even has the kind of like rolling drum into a stop, and then it kicks back in. And just like I was sitting trying to work, and my leg was just like bouncing up and down. I was so goddamn excited. I fucking love this band. Like I cannot get enough.
I love when I hear a record that makes me that happy. I love that shit.
Yeah, again, if anyone doesn't have this, I cannot recommend it enough. This is probably my favorite thing that's come out this year.
Wow.
And I don't really buy many unless I'm at a show or in a store. Like I just don't mail order many 7-inches as much as I used to. But this, I would buy this 1,000,000 times more. This is my favorite thing so far this year.
Yeah.
That's like it's melancholic but anthemic and like triumphant all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a really weird ball of emotions coming into listening to it. So yeah, it's so
like
good.
I said, I had real trouble trying to describe that record.
It's possible. Like it's just so like I showed it to a friend at work. It's like, oh, I didn't know Jangly Oi was a thing. I'm like, well, okay, it is.
I mean, I suppose it does have that like second and third era blitz thing going on a little bit, but not too much.
Really. Yeah, it doesn't have the keyboards.
Doesn't have the keyboards.
Yeah, and this one it's also easier because like this one, there's only 2 languages on it. It's only French and English. They don't throw any Dutch in to confuse you. So
that Dutch shit out of there.
Yeah, I can handle 2 languages on one record, but 3.
You're going a little far. A step too far.
Yeah, we know you're smart. Okay, you're European. They teach you other languages.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that band.
So much good stuff coming out of France of all the
France is killing it.
So,
yeah. That band I was listening to. It's funny, on a prior episode, Mike, you were saying like, what is the Marked Men like you know, what do we call that type of punk? Like, what's the subgenre or whatever?
Right.
And I was listening to Marked Men on YouTube Music, which I do, and this band came on, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, wait, we gotta bring that back. I need to hear that again. And I was like, this shit is fucking great. So I'm glad that there's new and more stuff out there. So I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's getting hard to describe things these days because like you can either do like a flowery review, review, or you can compare it to another band, or you can just they're this genre. You know, it's like this really. It's
gotta
but that band,
creative.
Yeah.
Well, how would you describe the Marked Men then?
Yeah, I don't.
It's garagey pop punk.
It's not pop punk.
It's garagey pop
I
punk.
will not accept that. It's not a pop punk band.
It's almost like there is elements of that in it, but there's something like Radioactivity, like all those bands. They have like something, and Red Dawns, you know, like.
There's the extra level of songwriting that
melodic punk.
Sure. It's not trying to be like bubblegummy.
No,
I'm not trying to say that, but it's a pop. They're a garage pop band, in my opinion.
I'll take power pop. I'll take that.
They sound like that band, the Reds. I think a lot of these bands took their sound from that band, the Reds. You know that one with the sunglasses? It's from the 80s.
Well, that's like mostly the same people.
No, a different band. This is like a band from the 80s
Reds,
who are on that A&M Records and put out a really amazing kind of power pop record. And a lot of those Marked Men bands kind of sound a bit like that band, a little bit. So, yeah.
I ran across that record once in a store and I got really excited. And then I realized it wasn't the Reds I thought it was.
You should buy it. It's amazing.
Threw it back down. I kind of regret it.
Yeah.
You should be able to find it.
Yeah,
probably
everywhere.
Probably still in the same.
A&M Records, it's everywhere, like major label thing.
Yeah.
All right, I got something. This is a funny one because people have been getting very excited about this Japanese band because Tom put out their like discography record a while ago. I think Jordan, did you get this? I don't know. It's this band.
Yeah, that's great.
It's this Japanese band called The Last Survivors who put out like a bunch of records through from like 2001 to 2016. So this is like their discography record that just came out from General Speech. It's another kind of UK 82-ish kind of band, I just realized, but more like old like Scandinavian punk, like Llama or like that really melodic anthemic kind of punk. It's a great record. So people are like have just kind of got used to this band who missed out on them the first time, and boom, literally just after this comes out, the band puts out like their first ever like full length album. Like people are like, what? I've just got this. Now I've got to get the album, and it's just like it's just come out. There it is. It looks kind of exactly the same. The other one.
It looks like a weird cover.
That's it.
I mean, that would just be the $2 more expensive record on the website. You know what I mean?
It's funny, right? It looks pretty similar.
The silk screen version.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny, right? And it sounds exact. So it's already been talked about on this show. But if you like that, then you're gonna like this. This is like their first album. Decontrol to Survive. You know.
I kind of thought the on the comp one, I kind of thought the first side sounded a little bit more UK 82, and I thought the B side sounded a little bit more Norwegian, sounding. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It sounded a little different. I mean, obviously, because it's multiple records.
I agree. So I think, to my COVID ears, like this sounds more like the B side of that discography. It's a little bit more melodic. Okay. Like I was expecting them to have like this really big production on this. They don't. It's kind of real like raw production, but they've definitely kind of gotten better at their instruments, or like they've kind of a little bit more. But it's definitely more like the second side of that discography.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah,
it's hard to get already, I guess, in America.
It only came out in Japan. I'm thinking Tom will get some just for his connection with the band. But yeah, good stuff. It reminds me of like Schizophrenia a little bit, if you know that band, Japanese band. Even a little bit of Order in there, that band Order, a little bit. But it's just like super catchy, melodic, fast, Scandinavian, UK 82, through like a Japanese.
Yeah. I didn't know anything I'd never even seen the name until I saw that email blast. Like, we're re-releasing this, and haven't gotten around to actually checking it out. But
I mean, this came out like 10 days ago. It's weird. It's like their first ever like full length album. So
I wonder if, like you were saying, that these two records came out really close proximity, and Bill was saying those other two records came out like they announced them the same day on Bandcamp. It's like, is this just because there's been so many backups with like pressing plans that like everything's coming out at once? Like,
that's a good point. I know this got
it's
delayed.
Possibility.
I mean, this is like a Japanese pressing that we still have like one record pressing plant in Japan. So this is like a Japanese pressing. But I was going to say, it's funny because a lot of people of like my age, so who were like really into like the more traditional Japanese hardcore, we kind of ignored this band like in the early 2000s. We'd like, who wants to listen to a Japanese band doing like?
I got it, but I kind of ignored it too because I remember the 7 inches were out, and I just kind of thought it was like generic, like street.
Exactly. I
don't even know if I ever even listened to it, but I remember seeing the concert.
I remember a lot of people have been saying that. It's like, it's like Tom and the Boot Boys and the Discogs and all those kind of bands. But this is like way, way better than any of those bands. It is.
Awesome.
So check it out. If you got the discography and you like the discography, don't get confused.
Pretty similar looking. Would be easy to see.
Accidentally buy the same one twice.
Yeah, this one doesn't have an Obi on it. There's the clue.
Okay. No circle.
Japanese one though.
Yeah. No
it's all
circle.
right.
Great stuff. The Last Survivors. Decontrol to Survive on Pogo 77 Records. A full package.
All the hits.
Everything's there. Yeah.
Awesome.
I would have definitely bought it to have a mushroom bomb on it.
Oh, good. All right.
Oh, someone just said that. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. There you go. Hey.
I would have totally bought it if it had a mushroom cloud on it in the 90s for sure.
It's those hallmarks of a fucking solid record.
But you know, this is their logo, right? The razor blade cutting the anarchy sign.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Are they like not anarchists? Are they like
no anarchy for them? No.
Yeah.
No anarchy in the.
You gotta bleed for your anarchy.
Yes, bleeding out.
Maybe that's probably a good take. Yeah.
There we go. The Last Survivors. There we go.
The Last Anarchy Survivors. Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, what's your second pick?
Now it's time for my twofer.
Okay. Nice. We're like a twofer.
I'm gonna do a little Midwest love right now, so it'll take a minute. There are a couple great labels I want to just really briefly mention. There is Upset Condition Upset Condition Tapes from Indiana. Do a lot of hardcore and a lot of punk stuff that's really awesome. Worth checking out for sure. They're on all the streaming platforms. Also, we have Open Palm Tapes, which is a Chicago tape label. And they are putting out my band's next tape, but they do a lot of really awesome stuff from here. Definitely check out their Bandcamp. They put out really cool stuff everywhere. And then the other one I want to talk about is Unlawful Assembly. A lot of people have heard of this. We just went to the Unlawful Assembly Fest where I got COVID. But it was great. I mean, it was like, it is no easy feat to like book just a straight up hardcore fest with all hardcore bands for many shows and keep my fucking interest, but they did it. So it was great. Wow. So the twofer that I'm going to do are two bands that are on Unlawful Assembly. The first one is called Necron 9. Let me see if I can get that.
Great. That's a great band.
Yeah, if you talk to them, they will say like, we really love Italian hardcore, and you can hear that. That's definitely on there. I can't really see this insert, but you know, they're giving Met Mensch to me. I love it. I think it's fucking great. And you can hear like the Italian hardcore influence for sure. The standout on this though are the vocals. Kai has a really, really cool voice. Really cool voice. It's gravelly, it's barky, it's fucking good.
He has great energy live too.
They're so fun live. I fucking love it. the standout song for me on this is Zits. And as a long sufferer of cystic acne, I felt that shit in my bones. It is good.
Relatable.
Literally.
Relatable content.
All good songs. And I think they're going to have a 7-inch on Unlawful Assembly. And now I can't remember if they already recorded it or not. But anyways.
Nice.
So number 2 is called Rododendrons. I don't know if you could see that. I think I got it in. So if you are familiar with Mock Execution, these are the Mock Execution people. This is their rock and roll style offering. It's fucking great. Okay. Let's talk about punk songs that have whistles in them. You got
the baby song.
You got
maybe the Dickies.
Gorilla Biscuits does it too, don't they?
Who?
Gorilla Biscuits, don't they do a whistle?
Oh yeah, probably.
You mean like whistling from the?
Yes, whistling.
Oh, so not a baby song doesn't count.
But this is fucking awesome. I would suggest anybody look this up. I think this is actually a split between Unlawful Assembly and Roachleg, maybe.
Oh,
so you know those names. Get it? It's fucking great. 4 songs. They're all really cool. But Stop the World is a song with the whistle. That is the fucking jam. Stop the World. I want to get off. It's who doesn't feel that? Feel it. Feel it.
wow.
So that's my twofer. Awesome.
Nice. I guess the people that do Unlawful Assembly are big Japanese hardcore fans, right?
Well, I mean, it's in the name, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I got a whistling song. It's that band Poison, the old Japanese band. They had a LP on Selfish, but it's a ballad. It's a punk ballad with a whistling solo in it.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I don't think I've ever heard that.
People either love it or hate it. I love it.
Yeah.
So is it called Every Rose Has Its Thorn?
Oh God, yeah, someone has to bring up.
I was gonna say Pat Benatar, but I was like, I'll leave that. But no.
Yeah, Crimshrine had a song. That was the other one I was thinking of too.
There you go.
Yes.
Ooh.
There you go.
Gorilla Biscuits are the 2 ones that pop in my head like right away.
Gorilla Biscuits.
Send in your
pics
in the comments.
Okay.
Circle Jerk's wonderful.
There's gotta be more. I feel like there's more. Those were like the ones off the top of my head. So just put Rododendrons in that list, okay? Just do it.
Anyone's compiling an Excel spreadsheet of punk songs with whistling in it.
It made the pants up.
Great for a mixtape of whistling track.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Jordan.
I need to be pumped up for this one. So the band is from Dallas, Texas. I feel like this band is a little bit forgotten because this record came out in 2001. I saw this band a couple times in Chicago, but the best time I saw them was at a Thrash Fest in Minneapolis. I think it was Thrash Fest 2. And the singer opened up 2 tall boy cans, poured it into his cowboy hat, beers out of the cowboy hat, then put the cowboy hat on top of his head, and then ripped into a set. And I'm talking about
Code 13.
SPAZM 151.
Okay. Man, that's
so a little blast from the past. I don't know if people remember this band.
What's his name? Texas.
It's
James.
Yes, Texas James. Yeah.
Texas James.
Yeah. So this is a raging, awesome, hardcore record.
Mm-hmm.
In the era that this came out, there was a really big trend in America to play like really thrashy kind of hardcore, like What Happens Next kind of stuff, which is great and was really good at the time. And this band would also, like bands like this and Nine Shocks came out around the same time and kind of flipped the script a little bit. And it was just aggressive, fast, gnarly, funny, just over the top, like hardcore. And just this record just rages. My favorite song, I think, is like Freedom, Get Out of My Life. They do a couple of covers at the end of it, which is a little bit weird. They do a Jerry's Kids cover, and they do an awesome version of I Hate Myself by the Offenders. But overall, it's just a raging record. And the artwork was done by Biscuit from the Big Boys.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he did the artwork for this. I think this is his last cover art that he did because he passed away not too too long after this record came out, maybe a couple years after it. But yeah, this is just, you know, is just a great hardcore record. It's not expensive to find. I think it's like a $10 record.
$5 or $10, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that around a lot.
Yeah. It's on My Control Records, out of Texas too, out of Austin.
That's Jack Control, right?
I think he did that record. Yeah. Yes.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, it's great. And there's also like a Texas, Dallas, and specifically mostly about Dallas documentary that's out called Everything is A-OK. And I guess James Newman's the bass player and singer of this band, the one that drinks out of his cowboy hat. I guess he's interviewed, and I guess it's amazing. I haven't seen it yet, but he talks a lot about the scene in Dallas, Texas. And,
tell me the name one more time of the documentary.
Called, Everything is A-OK.
Okay.
Is the name of the documentary. So
I'm gonna take a note.
I think Chris Peffer, I think, is also interviewed for it as well.
Oh yeah,
So,
Chris.
but this is a great record. You know, totally just thrashing, hardcore. James Nunes, it's fucking awesome. So
yeah,
go get it.
It's it's great. It's great. And, like,
do you remember that record, Mike?
I have. I you know what? I bought it like it's like in every 500 yen bin over here, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't. It should be more expensive than that if we're like judging records on like the quality of what's in. But I guess like they pressed a lot. It's not like, you know, you pressed like thousands of them probably, you know, it wasn't limited or anything. So
no, it wasn't limited. No, it's just crazy because it's one of those records, like when I talk about on another show, like Born Dead Icons, where you can just find the records, but you're just like, dude, these bands are like classic, like some of the best bands of this era. And you like don't really know how like people aren't listening to it more, or it's not like revered as much.
Yeah. Man, what a fucking killer live band too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thrash Fest were amazing too. Like Nine Shocks played, and you know, SPAZM 51 played, and yeah, it was so many freaking great bands would play that festival every year. So great.
Yeah. I saw that.
Pedestrians Army played one year when they were on tour here. Limpress played.
Nice. Yeah, if you haven't checked out SPAZM 151, check it out.
Do it.
It's an underrated classic, I would say.
Good pick, Jordan. Good pick.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
All right. I'm gonna pop this one because this kind of plays in, Mike, with what you were saying about the just kind of absurdity of the total package of something, where it's just like kind of leaning into it so hard. It's a fucking krautrock band named Motoric. It's so fucking stupid. Like if I just named my next band D-Beat or like Luka Beat or something. So I was working like maybe back in March, I started working on this project at work that just killed me. Like it's the closest I've ever come to just like walking off the job and just throwing my computer out the window. And I've never been a person that really is like, okay, mood music, you know, usually I can just listen to whatever. Like I don't need to listen to specific stuff to read or specific stuff to work. But for whatever reason, when I was working on this stupid project, nothing sounded good but krautrock to me. Like just I needed.
That's a sign. That's a sign you need a new job. No, I'm just kidding.
I have no comment.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
But so like I was clicking around on Bandcamp. I just clicked on the krautrock tag and just listened to the first 30 seconds of just everything that came up. Wow. And I saw this come up. This band's from Belgium. It's a 3-piece. And I chuckled because I thought it was a joke. And it's not. It fucking ruled. So they've got 4 records. This is the only actual physical one I've got. This is the first one. This came out in 2019. The most recent one was just not that long ago. It was like either late 2022 or early 2023. I actually like the 3rd and the 4th one better, but this is what I was able to actually find in America. And it's one of those things. It's just exactly what it says on the tin. It just is just looping Motoric beats and just looping riffs and like 6 songs. Everything goes on for a little while, and it's like even when I'm not working, even when I don't want to hurl my computer out the window. Yeah, the last like 7-8 months of just not. I won't say I've gotten deep into krautrock. I'm not an expert, but yeah, it just all of a sudden it's all I wanted to listen to. And
is it guitar driven or keyboard driven?
There's some looping keyboards.
Drum driven.
Oh yeah, so it's mostly drum driven. So it's a 3-piece, and I watched some live videos, and they do have some like programmed key parts. So they don't have their own keyboard player. They just kind of set it up and just play around with it. But yeah, it's 2 guitars, drums, or maybe there's bass. The video, oh yeah, so guitars, synths, guitars, FX, drums, percussion. So it's all instrumental. Yeah, they've got 4 records. I've heard 3 of the 4. This is the first one. It's really good. 3rd and the 4th ones are even better. It's if you like the stuff that John Carpenter's doing now, imagine if it's even more kind of straightforward with the Motorik beat. It's very similar to that. So it sounds like a soundtrack to a fake movie.
To the movie of your working life. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It sounds like, the slasher movie of my work life.
What you hope would be your working life one
for
day.
Friday the 13th. It's perfect. Yeah, I wish I could find the other ones, and there's still one more that I haven't picked up like on Bandcamp at all. The other ones I bought there, but yeah, just the absurdity of just calling a fucking krautrock band Motorik just immediately made me a fan. Just even if it was bad, I was gonna listen to it. But it turned out it actually ruled. So yeah, I've been kind of going through that the last like probably 6-7 months. But I just got this copy. Found it on Discogs pretty cheap. I think it was like $10. I actually had to add a second record on to meet the store's minimum, and then they couldn't find the second record I added on, so I got it for even cheaper. So it ruled. It was perfect. So yeah, if you're into just instrumental krautrock that is the krautrockiest krautrock you've ever heard, Motorik, and it's Motorik with an exclamation point. It's not with an I.
I just noticed that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's got it's everything. It's got all the bits in there.
That's taken from like the early Kraftwerk stuff and the Noi thing too, right? The Noi records have the exclamation mark on.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what you were saying, Mike, with the shit. I already forgot the last your last pick with just the last
survivors.
Last survivors. Yeah, could not think of the last word of that. But yeah, so it's just everything. It's like very stereotypical, but it still rules. Like it's leaning in so hard that you think like, oh, this is a joke, it's stupid, but no, you're committing that much to it that these people are serious. So yeah, this I love this.
I'm intrigued. Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah. I can't recommend, especially 3 and 4 are my favorites. I haven't heard 2. This is the first one.
Nice.
Yeah, from Belgium.
From Motorik, Belgium.
It's real. Like when you are at work, there's certain things that are hard to listen to, and to me, like a very groove oriented thing. That's like a thing you can get into and just be like, my brain is in a wave, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna work.
Yeah, I want to call out. Just asking for like, all right, give me all the B-level krautrock recommendations. The Hollow Gallo was possible, and got some good ones. And then that's kind of where that came in. It's like, all right, this is perfect. Holy shit, this is exactly what I needed.
Yeah, that's real.
Cool. All right, I'm going to take us all the way back to 2021 for my next one. Get in the time machine, go all the way back to 2021. Sarah, you were just talking about the band with the amazing vocalist that has like the gruff,
Necron 9.
The
barky, gravelly,
but not like an extreme noise terror like crust style, but like more like it's hard to explain. But I think this record has a bit of that, well, a lot of that, and it's actually one of my favorite things about this record. German band, but I don't think all the members were born in Germany.
I don't know.
I've seen that record cover, but
yeah, same. I've seen the cover, but
honestly, I was like super excited about this. It's not a D-beat record. The band's called Ego, by the way. The band called Ego. The record's called ISM, so egoism. It has that thing that D-beat bands do with that little thing in the corner that just says like 10 tracks demo, because it was a 10-track demo just on tape. And then Agipunk put it out on vinyl in 2021. Honestly, this one makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Like, it has something about it. It really takes me back to like old Norwegian hardcore, old German hardcore. It's just got this feel about it. It could have even come from like Behind the Iron Curtain. It sounds old. It sounds like it's from like 1983 or 1982. It actually kind of blew me away, like, because I was kind of expecting just like a run of the mill D-beat record. There's like a little bit of D-beat in there every now and again, but the main kind of focus of this record is like that super like heavy, I'm going to say anarcho-punk, like, Exit Stance, the heavier side of anarcho-punk, mixed in with like old like German punk. The vocalist has this amazing like gruff voice that sounds like super passionate, but he does sound a little bit like Choke from Slapshot every now and again. Don't let that put you off. I was thinking, should I mention that or not? But it's got that just real like gruff delivery. But he sounds like Jazz from Killing Joke too a little bit. And, yeah, and I actually, because I was like super sick this week, I did copy and paste the Sorry State review as a backup. And Daniel did say that he gave it like a really, really good review. It's like basically like gruff and heavy, with like elements of like shoegaze and like dark wave and like the Skeletal Family and stuff all mixed in. But it's heavy. It's like it's definitely like a hardcore punk record. It's not like meandering around or anything. It's like full bore like hardcore record, but with these like other like influences in there.
How's the recording quality?
It's amazing. It's super well recorded, big sound. It's great, absolutely great. If you've not heard this, check it out. It's amazing. Egoism. And I'm excited. So they've got a brand new LP coming out like next month on Agipunk, which I'm going to buy. Absolutely great record.
That sounds great.
It's really great.
I'm mixing Killing Joke in.
He does sound a little bit like Jazz Coleman at times, but it just I don't know. It just reminds me of like, what's that Norwegian band? Banny List. Remember that band? That were like just a kind of punk hardcore band, but then the vocals come in and they're like way gruffer than you would expect from that time.
Yeah.
And it kind of really makes a difference to the kind of the dynamic of the music. Really good. Really, really good.
So who put that out again?
This, well, originally it was a tape, like a self-release tape, but this is on Agipunk as well. So
Agipunk, okay.
Should be still easy to find, I want to say. Came out 2021, so. Great record.
Yeah.
That's my third pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should I do a D-beat related pick or should I do an ego related pick? I don't know. Let's go ego.
All right.
And it's not only ego, it's ego and super ego. This is Clarko.
That cover alone made me not want to listen to it.
I'm sure. But I'm gonna explain to you why you're wrong and why you should do it.
Clarko, right, or something?
Clarko. I am gonna also show this cool insert. I really wish there would have been some like the lyrics on this insert, but there are not. And then there's this. But I also love these center labels, like so silly.
I like the way he looks.
You're not convincing Jordan yet, Sarah.
I don't care.
Get on his face.
Not everything is for everyone, so that's okay.
Exactly.
I love this record. I am not. I cannot say that I'm like an egg punk aficionado or expert by any stretch of the imagination. It's funny though. This band has a T-shirt that I ordered that I have not yet received that says anti-egg punk, and it's got an egg on it. It's like so leading into the thing, right? But so unapologetically, Clarko is a fan of Devo, but I will encourage everyone not to get hung up on that and not to like stop when you're like this. Yeah, they like Devo, but it's not Devo enough, or whatever bullshit people will say. You got to listen to this record a few times, okay?
Right.
And Mike, I hear you say this often. Like, it took you a few listens before it really like landed with you. The very first song and the very last song on this record are 6 minutes long, which feels like a lot, but it's setting the table. So the first 2 minutes of both of those songs is like the meat of the song. And then the last 4 minutes is just like a jam. And the only way I can describe it is like walking along on a nice day, feeling good about stuff, and just being like, I don't hate everything for 10 fucking minutes. Like, that's how those last 4 minutes of the first and the last song feel, which is a very smart move by this band. There's obviously going to be a lot of Devo comparisons, but I would say early Devo, like rudimentary kind of Devo vocals. The one thing I'm going to say about Agipunk is that the Agipunk that I like the best, and the Agipunk that is punkest, has something that's a little off and a little annoying and a little like just it's always going to be witty and there's going to be some frivolity, but like there's something that's a little weird about it. And this record has that in spades. That's like the only way I could describe it.
Have you heard that band, The Smarts, from Australia?
No. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to that band.
I feel like what you're saying is like it might be similar to that band. Like it's like Egg, but it's kind of a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
At the same time.
So I will say that I started following this band on Instagram, and they have played they went on a tour recently, and they opened up with like a Black Sabbath cover. So they are definitely,
That's cool.
They're definitely just like music heads. Like they
pushing the envelope a little.
The live band setup that he has is very ripping. The drummer is incredibly ripping. On this record, there are a big cast of characters. Different people play on different songs. The last 3 songs on this record are 3 of the best songs I've heard in a long time. And when I was talking about the id, the ego, and the super ego, they really do cover a lot of like stuff that is a little dark, and it's a little hard to like match it up with the music sometimes. But the last 3 songs are, let me just double check to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Let's Be Mean would be, there's a nice Obi strip on this too.
There is. That record looks familiar to me. I don't know why.
Iron Lung.
It got posted into the group a handful of times, I think.
Okay.
So Let's Be Mean is a relationship song. My Meat is a song about body image and calorie counting and all those things that a lot of people do, unfortunately, like have to internalize too much. But the very last song on this record is called Man's Power. And if you would have told me that I would ever have entertained any dude like talking about the dynamic between like misogyny and like performative feminism, I would have fucking laughed at you, but they fucking did it on this record. So it's smart. It's great. Don't get hung up on the, it's Devo-y, but it's not Devo-y enough or whatever. Don't. Just listen to it a couple times in a row. You might be a convert. You might. Welcome to Clarko.
Clarko is the name of the band, right? Clarko.
Yeah.
What was the Sabbath song that they opened with?
I don't remember. I just saw like a clip of it on Instagram and it kind of like came and went, but I was like, well, that's a choice. That's a fucking choice they made.
Yeah.
I like it. So yeah.
Iron Lung Records put it out, right?
Iron Lung. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it looks really familiar.
I just judge it on covers, and that's.
I know. I was like, Jordan will hate this because of the cover, but push past it, Jordan. You can do it.
I will listen to it. I mean, Iron Lung puts out consistently good records, and I just need to listen to it.
Yeah. You might hate it, but I love it. I don't know.
I'm sure I'll like it. You gave it a great review, so I'll check it out.
Is there only the one samurai sword on there?
Yeah.
Or are there more?
No, just one. There's a gun. There's a samurai sword. They're trying to cover the bases with the weapons. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, for some reason, it looks like a performance art record or something when I saw it. Like I expect this guy to like put a keyboard thing on and like him just run around with like a sorter or like a bamboo stick or something. And I'm just that was my like weird impression of it.
So
but like that's wrong.
When the live video, he plays bass and sings.
Oh,
that's
cool.
what he does in the bass. So yeah.
Just remember, Iron Lung Records put this out. He's not going to put out anything bad, right?
True. He does.
I mean, I hope not.
Right? All right. Jordan.
All right. So, I promised myself on this if I do a podcast on here that I wouldn't put a band that I put a record out by, but I didn't put this record out. However, I did do a record.
Good records. Don't do that.
Pedestrians, here we come.
No. So this band has been around since 2006, and it's been a long-running band in Europe. Played for a long time and put out a lot of EPs. I did a split 12-inch with them, so I've been waiting for them to put out an LP for a really long time, and it kind of was hard to find in the U.S., and I don't hear it talked about much in the U.S., even though it made a lot of people's top 10s in 2022, because that's when it came out. It's Reduso in Mundicia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember them. Great.
12-inch. This is fucking raging.
Yeah.
One thing I really love about this band is they just keep getting better and better the more they go on. And it's just so great that they got a 12-inch out, because like they've had splits with Drop Dead. They've had like a bunch of 7-inches that came out in Germany. The band is from Austria. The singer is from Chile. So they sing in Spanish, and they're very, very, very political songs. It's very fast. And like I said, the songs are very political. In the past, there's been a lot of like comparisons to Krudos, which I think is very lazy, because they don't sound anything like Krudos at all. Some of her vocal style, and she's one of the best singers, I think, in punk. Like she's in Suicidas.
Suicidas is amazing, yeah, as well.
She's a singer of that, so she can sing like melodic, awesome stuff like that. And then she sings this one, which is totally, I mean, and she nails it. She's such a great front person and singer, and the energy behind the band is great. Yeah. This band toured Japan twice, I believe.
I saw them on the first tour, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I think they toured in 2011 and 2016. Okay. And I hear a little bit of Japanese influence on this record, more so than any of their other records. It has a little bit of that kind of anthemic, kind of like, like Nightmare has a little bit of an anthemic. It doesn't sound like Nightmare, but it has that kind of like fist pumping quality to it. And then like these really awesome like melodic guitar leads that come in and out. And it just kind of pushes this record like kind of over the top.
Yeah.
It's on Adult Crash, which sometimes can be difficult to find in the US. They're a Danish record label.
Yes.
I know Blackwater will get a lot of their records in Portland. Occasionally Sorry State will get records in, but I had actually a bit of a time trying to find this record when it came out, because it sold out really quick in a lot of distros and not a lot of people re-up, and then it just sold out altogether. And they did a tape, I think, in Malaysia. They did a CD in Japan of the record. So it got a lot of distribution outside of the US, but not as much in the US. This is a phenomenal record, dude.
That's good. Yeah.
And the funny part is the record starts with this El Final is the first song, which is a mid-tempo kind of stomper.
I really like that song, though.
So do I. It's like it starts it off like you would think this, because every song is so fast, but the mid-tempo one starts the record.
In fact, that's the only negative I have about that record. So I wanted them to do like one in the middle and one at the end as well.
Yeah, but, actually, I think the last song, Falsidad, I think is a little bit mid-tempo too. Right. So I kind of start and end it kind of a little bit that way. But man, those two, I think those are my two favorite songs on the record. Though I also like this, and excuse my Spanish, Pasitos por la idiots. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh. It's the third song.
I can see the word golpe on there. We were just talking about.
Yeah, I know. I think that's where it's together. But anyway, it's a phenomenal record. It's like I said, it's a little hard to get in the US, but this band is, I mean, they haven't put out a bad record. I'm so glad they put a 12-inch on so I can just put it on and fucking rage out to it. The drumming is fucking so tight on it. That's also a part of it. It's just like the tempo changes. It's just a great record. So it came out in 2022. So
yeah, it's out there. That's one that I've actually thought about showing before, and I'm surprised nobody's showed it until now because it's a real good record.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where I saw it when it came out. I saw it on a lot of year-end top 10s, mostly from people from Europe. And I just feel like it's just one of those bands that just really is underrepresented here. Maybe it's distribution, maybe it's just whatever. I mean, they did tour the US one time. And we did the Chicago show, and they did really well in Chicago.
They were great.
They were great. So I would love for them to come back. I tried to get them to come back for a festival one time I was doing, but I did a split 12-inch with them when they were in like 2007 or 8 with a German band called
Solid. You put that out.
Yeah.
Solid Decline.
It was a split record.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Somebody got an ambulance in the background right now.
It's an ambulance, yeah, or fireman, fire truck, whatever you want.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just hear it. I'm like, oh.
Pretty loud.
Sweet.
But anyway, yeah, it's a great record.
Suicidas?
Suicidas record is amazing.
I never put that together. That's
same singer.
Isn't it? It's not even the same singer, isn't it? Like half of the band. It's like doesn't George?
The drummer does too.
The drummer.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
I think originally the first EP they might have had a different drummer because she was going down to Spain to play with those guys, and then I think that the same drummer, Goreg, was a great guy.
Oh.
But he's a great drummer, and that's a great record. Those 7 inches are great. Yeah.
That's a great pick. I've got the discography CD, which came out in Japan too, which is also good to have. Yeah. Great band.
Cool. My next one, go down the line. Another, God, I really didn't pick too many Ragers tonight.
You're proud of? Was it a Rager? What?
Apparently, I'm just in a mood last couple weeks. So I was just running some errands out in the suburbs, and I was just Googling like record stores near me, trying to see if I could find anything that was kind of out there. And I came across this one that was like a combo record store and plant shop. And by record store, it just had records. But I went because they had this displayed, Roland S. Howard Pop Crimes. I went basically just to buy this record. I been a big Birthday Party fan for a long time, but like for whatever reason, I never heard either of his solo records until this year, or even just like anything he did after. I remember when this came out because it came out like right before he died, and I listened to it and I remember thinking, oh, okay, it's cool, and then just never got around to actually getting it, and then it went super out of print, was hard to find. So Fat Possum did a reissue of it. I think this is from 2020 or 2014. One of them. So it just, another one of those ones, apparently, you don't really know how much it's going to hit you until like, oh shit. Yeah. He's dying and I'm not in a very great mood here. Cool. Don't worry. No one call any health professionals or anything. Don't worry about that. But just the combo of the singing and just the guitar playing, you can still kind of hear some of the, just kind of signature sound of, the Birthday Party guitar playing with him singing. And I don't know what it is. It's just like one of those bits where kind of fall coming in, it just hits at the right time. This is one of those bits where I never heard this or Teenage Snuff Film, his other solo album, until this year, maybe like 8-9 months ago. Another one, like I just kind of stumbled into it at a record store. That one was incorrectly filed in the soundtrack section. I think because I remember hearing all the time about how these were hard to find, and that one just kind of stuck around, I think, because it was in the soundtrack section. This weird store that had one rack of records and a lot of plants and some weird hippie people running it. They're very nice. Just kind of a stretch to call it a record store. But it was worth it. I mean, I found
real cool that. Well, there you go.
I went to it and looked. I was in and out in 10 minutes because there was not much to do, and 5 of that
not a lot to look through.
5 of that was awkward conversations with the hippies behind the counter. Yeah, that's one of those things.
The other kind, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a Monday. Yeah, I just had a day off. I was running errands and saw it. And it's like, all right, cool, yeah. And then listen to this like probably the next like 8-9 days in a row. It's a good one to put on before going to sleep. Just kind of a chill down. Yeah, he just looks so sad.
Doesn't he? He does.
But yeah, well, yeah, one of those things. Like after finding this one, just kind of another one that was kind of forever on my list of bands to listen to was These Immortal Souls. Finally, actually checked them out. Found some stuff on YouTube, and then Soulseek because looked up on Discogs. Soulseek's still around.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Still kicking. You can still find stuff on there. It might just take a little bit longer. But yeah, it just kind of sent me down a Roland S. Howard kind of binge the last like maybe 2 weeks. But yeah, sometimes it just hits. I don't know. Yeah, that's mine. Yeah, like right after the same day I bought this, I remember someone else posted into the Facebook group with, it's like, oh shit, I just bought that today. Yeah. So it's not just me.
There is something in the ether that's like, it's today's the day.
Transition into fall. But yeah, so Roland S. Howard, Pop Crimes. Again, not a rager.
That's okay. They don't have to all be.
It's good to have some variety, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. It's a real blind spot for me. I mean, the birthday party and Nick Cave, I can go a certain way with both of those, but Roland S. Howard, I've never.
Yeah,
investigated the solo.
Yeah, neither did I. Well, I listened to it. I listened to like streams, like temporary streams when it came out in 2009 or whatever. But yeah, and I was like, oh, that's good, and then just immediately forgot about it because it was a long time ago when I was very poor. I wasn't really buying things, so yeah, it's great. I recommend it.
Good.
I'm on it.
Awesome.
Wow, I'm going to go back to 2021 again. Just realized that.
It's popular.
Yeah, well, great year for music, 2021. Okay, but before I show this record, I want to pose a question to everyone because apparently this is like an important part or point of this record. Kansas City.
Oh.
What's it all about? Like what? I mean, what bands come from Kansas City that come to mind?
I mean,
so I was like, because it seemed like Kansas City was like a bit of a selling point to this record by people who were talking about it, and I was like, couldn't figure out why Kansas City is it? It's not a famous punk town, right?
Well, no, I mean, I think in recent years, I think somebody posted in the chat that they've had some fests and they've got like young kids there. Like,
Oklahoma.
Oh, is it Oklahoma?
That was, yeah. All right. There were a lot of Kansas City folks that lived for a while, and then all they would do is talk about how great Kansas City was, and it's like, well, why don't you move back? And then they did. So
this, I could be wrong about this, and forgive me, but I booked a show not that long ago, and I think there was a band called Foil, and I think they were from Kansas City.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but fun fact, some old heads that wanted to trade records came out, and they're like, we want to see Foil, and we're trading records with them, and that's some shit. So if they are from Kansas City, there might be that connection. Cool. But I could be wrong. So
yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
I'm a bit of a burnout, I don't remember everything.
I played in Lawrence, Kansas one time, but not Kansas City.
I feel like even when I show this record, I'm intrigued to see if people know this record. Honestly, like before I got sick, this is my most played record. I just played it to death. And it was one of those records, there's 2 songs on it where it was that good that I would stand up, go to the record player and put the needle back to the start of that song.
The song again.
That doesn't happen like too often, I would say. So I'm going in with this record. I don't like the name of the band. The band is called the Nature Boys.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not a good name, but I'm here to listen.
That makes me think of Die Hard with a Vengeance.
They're a 3-piece.
Okay.
Everyone in the band is like a really good musician. So the singer vocalist is Suzanne Hogan. Evan is the drummer. Danny is the guitarist. And the guitarist is like really, really good. He's got that kind of like twangy thing going on at times. he kind of plays the riff, then he kind of goes off like Neil Young or like Jay Mascis might a little bit.
Okay.
It's amazing, but it does sound like a little bit like what we were talking about, the Marked Men ballpark, but it's more like Wipers, I would say, is the main influence for this band. Man, it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard of this band before. It was in the cheap bins. Picked it up. Was kind of blown away by how good it was. Yeah.
Who put that out?
Dead Broke Records.
Oh yeah, we know
Oh
that.
yeah.
Which,
They put out a lot of records in the melodic.
Isn't that quite a big kind of like pop punky kind of a label?
Kind of. I mean,
A lot of.
it kind of jumps around, but you know, they put out a lot of stuff like Mark Men, but they'll do some like kind of like more gothy stuff, and he does a lot of stuff. Chris, yeah.
So yeah, I bought this and I never even like talked about it online or anything. And then Stephen Mangione from the Facebook group, he posted it. He was going to go and see him, and I was like, oh man, I've been listening to that band like for the past 2 weeks. I love them. And it's like I think nobody else like commented on it or anything. Nobody. It's like, man, nobody knows about this band. Yeah. So yeah, bit of Dead Moon in there. That was what I was thinking of. There's a bit of Dead Moon in here as well. Maybe early X, you know, with that twang going on.
Awesome.
The drummer's amazing. It's really like propulsive. He's doing a lot of like the hi-hat work and very nice like raw production. I want to tell everyone, go out onto YouTube. Nate, what's that?
The woman sings?
Yes, yeah. There's a song on here called The Philosophy Tent, which is like the first song on side 2. Go and listen to that. It's one of the best songs I've heard in a long time. It's amazing.
I'm taking more notes.
Philosophy Tent. But,
Cool.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's
Love the
like,
Wipers,
geez,
though.
I mean, I played it again yesterday. I was like, sorry, you know, next songs, I've got to go back and play like this one again. It's so good.
Okay.
Dead Broke put out a couple of Canadian Rifle records, right?
They did. Yeah. And they put out God, I'm drawing a blank. But yes, they put out a couple of Chicago bands, but Canadian Rifle they did a couple records for.
Oh, this label?
No, yeah.
Gotcha. Dead Broke Records, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why this is their 4th album. Maybe they are like big in certain areas, but like I'd never heard of them.
I've heard the name.
Oh yeah,
I definitely have heard them.
Artwork's kind of okay.
But I guess I kind of assumed it was indie rock. I don't know why. It doesn't look indie rock, that cover. So
good band.
So many bands with boys in it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the name, but you know, 4 albums.
It should have been BOIS, maybe. Maybe you would have liked it more.
BOYZ.
Yeah.
Every band's made better with a Z.
Nature Boys. Volume 4 or 4. This is record called Nature Boys 4. If you like the Wipers, Dead Moon, that whole genre that Marked Men do, we don't know what it's called.
The Nebulous.
Check it out. Check them out. Check out the Nature Boys. Great band.
Nice.
Hey, Rachel's here. Hey. Woohoo. There you go.
Nice. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. All right. Ready? This is another one that Jordan loves the cover. This is called the Porno Glows or the Pornography Glows. This was a Chicago band. This is a EP on a 12-inch. This is such a fucking special record for me. I actually ran into Kevin, who play guitar in this the other night, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, I gotta go put that record on. So legitimately, what are you listening to? I've been listening to this all week.
There you go.
It is very cute. Sorry. It is pink vinyl. It's like my light is too bright, but it's pink with like a yellow. You know, these songs are just very like, it's very straightforward punk music. There is not a lot of like, you know, guitar, bass, drums. That's it. Great vocals, great singing. You know, I hear the Gun Club a little bit. You know, it sounds like it could have come out sometime in the 1970s or 80s in New York City also. There's, I mean, Jordan, you've probably seen them too, but, you know, the song Humanism is just so clever. And just, again, if you can write a great song, you don't need to have a lot of fucking bells and whistles. You just let that song like stand for itself. And there are 3 songs on this record, which I think has 6 songs because it's technically an EP, that I just love them so much. The other one is called Pleasures, and the last one is Clean Necks. And it's just, they're kind of fast, but they're not like wildly fast. It has a lot of good energy. It was put out by, it says, if you go on Discogs, it says no label, but the record actually says Violent Pest, which is an offshoot of Alona's Dream, I guess. Alona's Dream does a lot of cool reissues, including Evil Eye, which is like another record that I almost thought about talking about tonight, maybe next time.
Artificial Faith reissue EP.
Yeah, and what's the other one? Yeah, but great stuff. And I would encourage people to definitely look this up online if you like it. Track it down. It's not expensive. They have records out there. It's just a super good punk record. If you just want to listen to some fucking good punk songs, like sang by somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing, check this out. It's very good. Very good.
To piggyback off Sarah a little bit, so Kevin, who plays and writes a lot of the songs for that record, he was in a hardcore band. Was it
Big Zip, baby? Big Zip.
It was very aggressive, jumping all over the place, like very young energy. And then, so he was in that band, and that band broke up, and then they did this band, and which is
like departure, but so good, so good.
And it's so awesome to see like a really energetic, awesome hardcore band, and then like that same front person then like played more like kind of garagey punk stuff with like really well written tunes.
Wow,
it was really cool. The first time I saw it, I was kind of like, whoa. But then you know, it's so catchy. It's really, really, really catchy stuff. It's really good.
Really catchy, just smart, just you know. Again, it's like when you write a good song, you don't need to put a bunch of bullshit on it. Like that's it.
Yeah, you're like being a singer of like Circle Jerks, and then all of a sudden you're in the Gun Club, like she said. You know what I mean? Like your next record, you're like, whoa, how do you do that? Very strange.
Sarah, you were saying they have the records around. Chicago folks, you can pick one up at Pinwheel because I got that tossed in with an order from Artist Dream, and that was my old copy. Nice people.
Okay.
Nice people.
No, it's great.
Didn't do it for me. I'm not going to go full on fuck you, but yeah. But Chicago.
Tell us how you really feel, Bill.
We want to hear the hate. Come on, don't hide your hate. No,
not my thing. Not for me.
I'm neutral. I've not heard it
so
yet.
I can tell you where a used copy is in the city. Pinwheel Records on 18th Street.
There you go.
Still there.
Everybody run down there first thing in the morning.
You can get it tomorrow. They open at noon, probably.
Let's get the name of the record again. Name of the band again. Just for people.
They're called the Pornography Glows, but it's affectionately known as the Porno Glows.
Okay.
Great.
My favorite thing about that band, anytime I was taking videos of shows and putting it on YouTube, anytime it was a video of them, the views would always spike immediately because of the name. People would always say like, "Oh, it's porn on YouTube."
It's a glowing porno.
Yeah, it would get like immediately like, 75 views, and everything else is at 2. And then it's like, oh wait, this is just a punk band. Like I saw it every single time I would post a video of theirs, and it would just immediately shoot up, and it's like then it would normalize after. It's like, wait, it's
another smart choice by the band to name it that.
They're gaming the algorithm again. Smart, nice people.
Nice.
Good dudes. Back door. Nah.
All right, where are we? Jordan.
You're
go next, right?
So I'm gonna do another kind of hidden gem, in my opinion, a hidden gem.
Hidden gem.
This record came out in 2010. I had somebody recommend me this record around this time, saying like something like a band I would be in, but it's not, doesn't sound like a band I'd be in, to be honest with you. It's mid-tempo, I think, is what people were going for, or my friend at least that recommended it to me. So this record is an 8-song LP, and the members of this band went on to be in more popular bands, like No Talk and The Secret Prostitutes and OB3, OBN3. This band's from Houston, Texas. The Energy.
Huh.
This was their first album.
It says so, yes. Yeah.
As opposed to
this is a fucking beast of a record.
Wow.
It's very, very melodic, but it takes every punk sensibility you think of and kind of twists it a little bit. For example, they have really long songs. The first song, Destroy Imagination, is a fucking great song, up there with like The Observers. Very similar in that quality of music, but a little bit more upbeat. And they play the entire song, and then you do a little drum fill, and then they repeat the song over again, making it a 5-minute song. The second song, or the third song, which is my favorite song on the whole record, Stabbing in the Dark, is 8 minutes long.
Wow.
But it's awesome. Josh Wolf is the drummer on this, who does a lot. It was in No Talk and a bunch of other bands. And he's a drummer on this, and the drumming is just like, kind of like, it just is driving melodic punk. And the singer kind of reminds me, do you guys remember that band, the A-Frames?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love that band.
Yeah.
Okay, so the singer kind of reminds me of the singer of the A-Frames, where he's a little bit monotone, and he's kind of like singing in a very aggressive manner at all. But he's singing melodically, but he's not varying his vocal patterns too much.
Right.
So then it leads itself to like these really crazy, like just like guitar parts and then bass fills and drum stuff. Wow. It's really good. It's also one of those records that's not pressed very many of them, but it's not necessarily hard to find or very expensive, because I don't think anybody really knows anything about the band. I don't know if they ever even played us. Yeah, it fits somewhere between like punk and like garage a little bit, but like it has like, to me, a little bit of like an Observers feel. Not Red Dawn's, more Observers, but just like they just like push the envelope. Like, hey, we're gonna take this song that would be an absolutely perfect 2-minute song, but we're gonna make it a 5-minute song. But we're gonna put all these weird little parts in there that like expands the songs to make it like a complete record. And it's just it's awesome. I got a cool little graphic on here. It almost looks like a pigeon
That's
getting
a nice looking back cover.
And the singer, like, another thing I want to say about the singer, he also does this thing where obviously he repeats stuff for the chorus, but he sings an enormous amount of words on this record. I'll just show you the lyric sheet. That is the fucking lyric sheet.
Damn.
Oh my
That's
God.
like some stream of consciousness shit going on right there. Whoa.
It looks like a Nick Blinko drawing.
It is.
Right, I was gonna say there's some, yeah.
But it's like, but you hear it and you're just like, and he just keeps going and going. It's like, it's almost like telling stories as he's doing it, like as he's singing, and like, or like his monotonous singing voice. It's great. If you ever have a chance, it's one of those records that if I find like cheaply, I would pick it up, buy it to just give to somebody. Cause I'm like, you got to try this record out. It's just, it's so different from like what was popular and what could be popular and how they make themselves. Like, fuck it, we're gonna take this awesome riff and this awesome song and make it 8 minutes, but never make it boring.
Yeah.
And so I fucking love it. So if you ever have a chance to get it, it's on, what's the record label? I've never even heard of it. Team Science Records.
Team Science.
That sounds vaguely familiar from a long time ago, but
yeah.
I was before you said that, I was gonna ask, like, was it on In the Red or something like that?
I mean,
sounds like something would be out on In the Red.
And the weird part was, like, I tried to find out more information about the band because I'm like, did they put another record out? Because I've never seen anything else besides this. But all the write-ups that they got were just phenomenal. Like people were like, this record is like this would be insanely popular in the garage rock scene, except for they're going to have an 8-minute song. You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of narrative kind of going without it. And it was interesting. I only read like 3 or 4 reviews. They do have a Bandcamp, so you can listen to it on there too. I wouldn't think they would, but they do. Definitely check it out. It's an 8-song LP from Houston, Texas. It's just, it's really, really good.
And what were the bands that kind of spawned out of that again? I remember you said Oben 3.
So No Talk. Do you remember that band No Talk?
Yeah.
Some band members are that. It's the Secret Prostitutes is probably another band.
I've heard of them, yeah.
And then OBN 3. So yeah, and like that guy Josh Wolf is like a guitar player and plays. He had a Bloody Hammer, I think. He did like a solo project where he played all the instruments in.
Oh, okay.
So
wait, I thought wasn't Bloody Hammer an Australian band? Different.
I think it's a different name.
Yeah.
Not the Australian band, not the band with members of.
I actually just looked at that record when I was going through records to talk about tonight.
Oh wow!
Bloody Hammer, man! I haven't thought about them.
Nice.
This is super trippy too. It's like almost like.
Cool. Hold it up one more time.
It's really weird. Almost like looks like some sort of like Mayan kind of almost graffiti art or something. Monster faces and eyes. I don't know. Somebody recommended it to me, and I was like, all right, I'll get this. The only other person I know of, Al Quint, loves this record, and I know of that like really knows the band. Even my friends from Texas will mention him, and they'll be like, they don't know who it is, and I'm like, oh really? That fucking record is amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask Kevin. He's from Houston.
Hidden Gem.
War Effort bassist. I have to ask him if he knows them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There's only 500 copies of it out there in the world, I guess. So, but it's only $10 on Discogs.
There you go. Cool. All right. Bill.
All right, next pick. Before I do that, real quick. If you've seen me looking down and wondering why she's been losing her mind with the balls.
I thought I heard her.
I thought I could hear some sounds.
Yeah, she's been clawing at everything because of course she needs my attention now. Oh, now she's fighting with the other one. Cool. All right. I was kind of hoping they would just go up on the perch and just sit, but now she's been kind of annoying. All right, so my next pick, it's another kind of blind spot one that I picked up on that same day where I was just kind of bumming around in the suburbs, driving from record store to record store.
Oh, okay.
So this one is a band from Boston that's, again, just kind of a blind spot for me for a really long time. I overpaid for this a little bit. It was the store that 95% of the stuff they had was kind of garbage, but then they had a couple of cool things. So Proletariat, Soma Holiday.
I just showed that like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh shit! Oh,
that's fine. Carry on.
Well, you'll be able to speak on it more than I will because this is completely new to me.
But it was it was new to me too. I bought it when CC was here. Me and CC went record shopping, and that was in.
I listened to that record for years.
You should get that. You should get that. So.
Yeah.
It was in Villa Park. I had never even been in Villa Park before, and it was Cheap Kiss Records. It was a big long stretch of stuff.
Sure.
It was like $40, and I looked it up on Discogs and like, oh, awesome, first press, $40, yeah. And then I looked, it has the track list on the back, so it's a second press.
I got
so overpaid by $15. It's
yeah,
awful. That's awful. But no, once I got it, it was like, didn't actually. A little disappointed, but not really. They were just a complete blind spot for me. Like when I was getting into hardcore and stuff in high school. Boston basically stopped for me at SSD and DYS. I just never really dug further. I didn't even get an actual copy of This Is Boston, Not LA until I went to Boston.
Yeah, they have tracks on that.
Like even like a downloaded version on SoulSeek, I don't think until I was like 26 or 27, like from blogs or whatever. Yeah, it was just not on my radar for whatever reason. So I picked this up because I had been listening a lot to This Is Boston, Not LA. Like, oh, this rules. This is great. I need to actually look for this. And then some random record store in the suburbs that was mostly just 70s rock. And unfortunately, they do have Discogs, so they priced it, at how it should have been. So the days of, finding the $5 old hardcore record is out. But yeah,
long gone, baby, long gone.
Long gone. But I don't feel ripped off because it just fucking rules.
Great record.
Really cool riffs. Just inventive songwriting. It's got a lot of songs, but you don't get bored with it. No. Yeah, I was kind of hemming and hawing on it. Like, I don't know if I want to pay $40 for a record that an older record that I don't know if I'm really gonna like or not. But I went for it and totally paid off. Yeah, this was another blind spot for me for years.
Me too.
Yeah, I've just never really on the radar. I never, I saw they were one of those bands that had the kind of shitty CD collection on Tang. Never saw that in person. Never saw any of the other records anywhere. Yeah, been listening to this almost nonstop for the last 2 weeks. It's been basically going back and forth between this and the Roland Howard record. So a little bit different moods, but still kind of dark. Still got a little bit of the kind of twisted atmosphere to it, Yeah,
there's almost like a little bit of a peace punk quality to it, even though it's not a peace punk record.
That's what I took me back to UK 81,
yeah.
So I think when people say there was no anarcho punk in the States at that time, I'm like, wow.
Not in Boston for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking if Saccharine Trust was from the UK, this is what it would sound like. Yeah, Blind Spot filled in. Was super happy. They had, what else? I picked up a Bad Chopper album. It's CJ Ramon and one of the guys from
Outcold.
I almost picked that
good.
one. I found that and the Proletariat at this weird store that was mostly not that good, but yeah, it's a really cool.
Okay, they got a few hits. Go with the hits.
Yeah. No, I'm very pleased with it.
That's great. I love that record. I've listened to that record for probably 30 years, so I'm always stoked when I see people pick that one out. So
yeah, that's great. I'd never heard it before 2 weeks ago.
All their records are pretty good, actually.
Yeah, there was one more, wasn't there? From the original, and then they got back together not that long ago.
They did some reunion shows. The record were really good, but
I feel like maybe just before the pandemic, right? They started playing shows again too, and that's sort of oh my god, this band, I kind of forgot about them, and great stuff.
Yeah, I regret not hearing it earlier because it rules.
That's awesome when you find it.
Yeah, it was great. It's man, there's still old good music to discover. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Well, and I like the tracks that they have on This Is Boston, Not LA. But the LP, I think actually is better stuff. To be honest with you,
100%. Yeah,
I mean, Jerry's Kids rules that comp so much that it kind of falls out a little bit. But when you have the LP of that, it's fucking great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is definitely better than the 2 or 3 tracks they've got on that. It was a complete and total blind spot until extremely recently, and the gamble paid off.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, Mike, that also you were kind of in the same boat I was.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't listen to everything. It's hard. There's so much.
Yeah, no, there's always so much stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
you gotta.
You're gonna miss stuff.
Mm-hmm. There you go. They played Skullfest the year.
They played Skullfest.
Yeah, I was saying. Yeah.
All right, last round. Time flies. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Will we be under 2 hours?
Chug.
Well, depends.
It is.
We're going into secret records.
It's 10:35.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
So, I'm just wondering if people
talk shit for so long. We're definitely going over 2 hours. No.
I wonder if people remember this band and how important or kind of what impact they made in 2005. Because I'm going back to 2005 and Deranged Records, band from Toronto. I guess they had a few 7-inches out. One
up.
One
fucked
LP.
Up.
Yeah. No one's heard of them. But I'll get to them, actually. I'm going to include them in my talk about this record. They're in there a little bit. Yeah, 2005, Toronto. So there's a lot of like, how can I frame this? Like Gun, The Hell, Electric Chair. There's a lot of bands kind of mining like old like US hardcore right recently, and doing it pretty well, I would say. Yeah. But this band was doing that like in 2005. That's why I say I wonder how they were kind of perceived like at the time, right, in 2005. So, anybody remember this band? This is actually the silk screened jacket version, which is like Terminal State.
Terminal State?
Yeah.
Yes.
They played Chicago.
Yeah, there you go. Terminal State, Your Rules, 8 songs. Every song under like a minute, whatever. It's fucking great. It's like Circle Jerks, maybe the first like middle class single. Just that era of like hardcore. So I just wonder in like 2005, you know.
Yeah, no, that band was. They did well, at least in Chicago. I think they played their show with Punch in the Face. I think.
You know what? You know what? There's when you said like fucked up. I remember there's like a little thing with all the old flyers in here. And
suicide,
fucked up, career suicide, Punch in the Face, Terminal State, 14 or Fight.
14 or Fight.
Where's
Her husband's band.
Yeah, that's Brian's band. Yeah.
You haven't heard him yell yet.
Yeah. They play with like Damage Deposit and
that was pretty popular, at least in Chicago.
That
era. Like those bands always did really well.
Where was that? What was the venue? Does it say?
Let me see if my eyes will let me.
I thought it was
there.
It says more info soon at the bottom.
Okay.
I can tell you it was $6. It was $6 to get in. It was $6 to get in.
Okay.
Fucked up headline by the look of the thing. They're in the biggest letters. Terminal State were at the bottom of the poster.
So I remember that Punch in the Face and 14 or Fight did tour with Fucked Up, so that might not have been in Chicago. That might have just been somewhere else.
I'm going to take a picture and zoom in on it.
People complained about $6 in 2005, but we sometimes asked for that. That happened.
I think Terminal State played on the South Side for a show, and I think they played with Punch in the Face. Yeah. But you're right, they did do that tour too. That's probably where that flyer is from.
Yeah, Punch in the Face is on the poster here, but yeah.
Wasn't Evan the drummer for that band? Or I mean, maybe it's not Evan.
I didn't look him up too much, but I know like
the drummer was in a bunch of other bands that forever, like School Jerks and a bunch of bands, even past.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Forgot about like them. One member.
His name is Igor or Evan or something. Ivan. Mm-hmm. I met him like a million times.
He's amazing. He's great.
Yeah, he's a great drummer.
That seems like that tracks it time wise. He would have been in that band maybe. So.
I think maybe someone is in that from that band is in SHIT now.
Ivan is, yeah.
There you go. That would be. There you go. Yeah, a bit of a blast from the past, but I just thought it was interesting that they were doing that kind of old school US hardcore like in 2000, 2005.
You know, I feel like there was a revival of that at that time. I mean, there were a lot of bands who did that sort of thing here, especially in the Midwest. I think that was a big, you know.
It was very popular. And you had like No Way Records and Sorry State Records started around that time. And Deranged Records was doing a lot of that stuff. And Grave Mistake was doing some stuff.
Yeah.
That was that era. That's when I first started.
Idiots. They did a ton of stuff like that. Yeah.
That's that Gun LP that you talked about earlier. Like that reminds me of when I first started going to like more DIY shows. Like it's like, oh shit, this sounds like it would have come out in No Way in 2006. Like, oh my god,
for sure.
Bring me right back into college. But
at DePaul.
We remember you from being a baby then.
One of the DePaul classroom shows with like the effigies or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucked up played in that.
I remember.
86 Mentality played there. There was a lot of bands that played in the classroom.
She's Greater Building.
The State. My favorite was the State. When the State played in that,
they played
in their classroom. That was the coolest shit ever. Yeah, that was.
I didn't see that one. I saw them play in the assembly room at UIC the one time. Mm-hmm. So they played at least 2 colleges.
Yeah,
college bathrooms.
And they played the Albion House too. So
they played. That was one of my favorite shows I ever did there.
What band are we talking about now?
The State. The State. It's an old.
State.
It's an old.
Michigan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They did. They came back together and did a bunch of shows around that era, but they were good. It was weird.
They were always
They got
great.
back together and did a whole new record, and it was like it was good shit. They were really good.
They were
older guys.
So
Tribes
cool.
used to cover.
Or probably our age now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, Bill. I wasn't trying to.
No. Everyone's done. It's fine. No, the band ruled.
That's
They were
my
always
take. Terminal State, your rules. It's a good
It
record.
kicks back in. State, Terminal State.
It's a good record.
Good
record.
seg.
It was in the real cheap bin. It's like the limited silk screen version they did for a tour or something. I don't know why it's here in Japan, but there you go.
Okay, you got it now.
Yeah, you have it now.
Distribution.
You have something we don't have.
No.
Awesome.
Not to speak for you and Sarah, or Sarah and Jordan. Not to speak for you two. But
Yeah, I might. I don't know. I could go look, but I don't know. Maybe.
I think I probably have their LP.
All right, let's go to Sarah's last pick. Is that Fairytale?
Fairytale?
Fairytale. This is great. I love this record. They were supposed to play at Skullfest and did not make it, and I was extremely bummed, but I love it. I don't know. You know how you were saying like the D beat has like the thing across the side? Like it's not. This is a square, or a rectangle. But if you look online, it definitely says like raw D beat hardcore. Right. It is. You know, but there's more to this. I fucking love this a lot. Here is the nice little insert, which is two-sided. Very cute. And I'm not trying to say cute to be dismissive. It's also got this really like Swamp Thing green vinyl, which is cool. Sorry, I have it upside down. And then it also comes with this. I prepped beforehand. I got everything out so it'd be ready.
Yeah, you want.
But Shooting Star is the name of the record. I think it's really great. The song Blue Sky is one that I connect with a lot. Just great fucking riffs. I really like the vocal. You know, I like D beat, but I also get bored by it if it doesn't bring it. And this brings it. You know, the song Fairytale, which is the last song on the A side, is just 4 minutes of complete, just, I think Brian said unrelenting. Like it is almost the exact same drum beat the whole fucking time. And it is Joe, who is in Condominium. He's a fucking incredible drummer. Everybody in this band is great though. And then when you flip the record over, I know it's probably not this way, but it almost sounds like it's a different recording. The first song on the second side is just the vocal in the chorus just kind of has this sort of like backwards. Yeah. I like the records, but Shooting Star is a big step up. It is like a very, very fucking cool record. Just when I listen to it, I like the whole thing. I like getting punished for that whole 4 minutes of that song, you know, on the end of the A side, but the B side is amazing too. This is a Quality Control Toxic State joint release, but just like it. Fucking good, man. And I really wish I would have seen him live, but hopefully sometime I will. So
I had like one of their 7-inches, and like Rachel said, it was okay, but actually Punk and Destroy in Osaka just got them in stock this morning, and I sampled a little bit of it, and I was like, God, I've got to get this. It's like,
yeah, it's
like
so
Rachel
good.
said, it's way better than like their older records, and definitely a lot of depth to it. It's not just like,
yeah, the songs are just cool. There's like a lot of like very good riff writing for a D beat record, and just, you know, I think it just sounds exciting. Like, you know, it's not just, even though that can get very stale very fast, there's just a lot going on in this record, so it's very fun listening. So
yeah.
Yay.
Nice. That's a reminder that I must buy that before it sells out.
Must buy it before it sells out.
Honestly, if you don't get it on the first day or second day,
they're gone.
They're gone. It's like, that's how it is these days.
I remember Scoots being really big on that record, and I forgot to check it out. So
he was.
Did you talk about it? I thought I looked it up and I didn't see it.
No, he didn't. He didn't mention it on the show.
He didn't post it. It was like an after.
It was the
after party.
Okay, good. I was like, I'm trying to not bring down material. I'm trying to bring new material.
You did your research, goddammit.
I tried.
You can't do those 46 episodes. You're good.
Actually, I might have sent Sarah like the.
I asked for the list. I was like, give me the list. I don't want to repeat.
Has the list been updated?
No, but yes and no. There's like the Excel spreadsheet which goes up to 25, but then I've got the Word document which you can scroll through if you have it.
You can do a search of the Word document. You just do a search.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. No excuse.
Technology.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't want to see any repeats on this show any fucking more, okay?
You will go to these people's houses, set their collections on fire, and say, get some new shit.
Word, okay?
All right. Jordan, hidden gem? Something new?
Yeah, you know what? This isn't necessarily hidden gem. It's more of a killed by death record. I feel like every time I do this podcast, at least for the last like 3 or 4 times, I want to showcase a Chicago band or a Chicago area band.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Naked Hippie isn't from Chicago, but I try to like showcase like kind of a hidden gem. This band isn't necessarily a hidden gem, but it's a killed by death record. Was very sought off. It's one of the ugliest, gnarliest, most demented killed by death records, and one of the first punk records to come out of the Chicago area. Came out in 1979 on Autistic Records, and I have a reissue of it, which actually adds more songs from the same recorded session because the EP that came out with this record only had 3 songs on it. This one has 8 songs from the same session added to it.
Mentally ill?
The Mentally Ill.
Man.
Gary's
Place.
So fucking good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Gacy's Place.
Gacy's Place. Who's Gary?
It's
Gary
one
Gilmore?
of the ugliest, most demented, ridiculous records. Slightly offensive in a way as well. Killed by death records. But also super awesome at the same time. Gacy's Place, like lyrical content is a little like
you're fucking your kids at Gacy's Place. So inappropriate.
And I mean, this record came out in the middle of that shit happening too. And the band is from. So I mean, this is like one of the most punk records ever because they're like, we're actually in the same area as this shit as it's going on, and we're fucking making fun of it as it's happening.
Yeah.
And the songs like the original 7-inch had Gary's Place, Tumor Boy, and Padded Cell. Padded Cell is actually my favorite. But they actually added in all it's called the Starbeat session because it's the rest of the songs that were on it on this 12-inch. And this one came out in 2020 on Last Lap Records. So and this band is, I mean, it is a killed by death record. It is extremely sought after 7-inch. It's a very expensive record. There's only 500 pressed of it. But it kind of was a start of like, just disgusting, demented, ridiculous punk. Hey, look, Sarah fucking walked out. It was so fucking
You offended her so much.
Yeah, I saw that. I just been reissued, and I kind of had it. It's still on there actually on my Disc Union, like once or to order later list or whatever. But,
yeah. I mean, it's like, I mean, if you like the Crucifix, it kind of has that vocal style of like, just like snotty over the top. The guitars are so blown out on it that it sounds like just a fuzzy mess.
Yeah.
And they're just, yeah, right. It's Gacy meeting the First Lady, Rosalind Clark on the cover. I mean, this is like the most middle finger fuck you record probably of that era. I would think, besides just having like a band that has like a really crazy, nasty name or something, you know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, the back cover has like them wheeling out some of the bodies
from the house.
Yeah. Exhuming the corpses.
Exhuming one of the 33 people found buried in the crawl space and backyard of his house. So yeah, so that's the mentally ill from Deerfield.
Did you guys see any of the reunion shows they did?
I did.
And I was just going to talk about this.
I do, and I have a pretty gross story about it as well.
Yes, tell it.
So my friend's band played one of their shows, not the reunion show that they did after the movie.
I was going to talk about that one. Yes.
Yeah, because there was a documentary about old Chicago punk called "You Weren't There," and they had a reunion show. And now, so a lot of people don't know who the members are. Now, supposedly the guitar player actually owned a bar in my neighborhood, just down the street. That
really?
What bar?
Oh,
my
shit.
place.
My place.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So and it's a total shit dive bar. But the guitar player, supposedly one of the guitar players used to own that bar. Rumored, because no one knew who the fucking people were that were in this band until they did the reunion show, and they came on and did this reunion show after, which I saw, which was really great. And then they did a Wired Fest. I think it was called Wired Fest, and they played it like maybe a year later. And so I had a friend, and we were looking for. It was at the Abbey Pub. You guys remember the Abbey Pub? Me and my friend, he was trying to smoke me up. So we were trying to go down to the green room to smoke weed because his band had played, and we went into the green room, and one of the members was doing a lewd sexual act with somebody. we left in the green room and smoked in the hallway, and then the bouncer guy like yelled at us and almost kicked us out of the club for smoking weed in the hallway.
We can't go there, though.
They're doing that in there.
Yell at them, not us. So.
But the bouncer didn't care about that.
Yeah.
But that,
I mean, the
money. They were mentally ill. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, walking into that green room and seeing it and I'm like not really care that people were there was also a little bit weird. I was like, I'm gonna leave.
They're like, YOLO.
Yeah. It fits the feeling.
Yeah.
All right.
Sarah, yours.
All right, Bill. Follow that.
Oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna follow that up. Jesus Christ. So my last one, I put this on last night when I was driving to the Civic show that Jordan and I were at, and it was one I hadn't listened to for a long time, and I was kind of blazing in traffic, wasn't paying too much attention to driving just because I got so into the iPod version of the record. But it is Pissing Out the Poison singles collection from the new Bomb Turks. So this plays in a couple different ways.
What a great record.
It had been a while since I'd listened to it, and I forgot just how many hits were on it.
Yeah.
I almost got in an accident during Polyester Thinking Cap. And then all of a sudden, the construction on the Kennedy just doesn't work. So yeah, it's a double LP and all the singles from 1994. When I got my record player in high school and then in college, early 2000s, you just would see a million new Bomb Turks singles everywhere. So I had most of them, even though I wasn't, around in 1990, 1994. I was, 4 to 8 years old. But I still had like probably 2/3 of the things on this. But it fits in, Sarah, with what I was saying. The Reckless price sticker on here from 2005, $6.99 for the double LP.
Yeah, I like that.
Doesn't happen that much anymore, but I think I looked it up on Discogs today, and it's like a $30 deal. It's nice, super nice gatefold sleeve. It's all the goddamn hits are on this. Dress Up the Naked Truth, Summer Romance. Just goddamn it, so many fucking songs on here. But yeah, I was driving home from the show and had 2 beers, but yet I was speeding like I had 15 just because I just got like so into it. But I didn't die. I didn't kill anyone else. They're one of those bands. I was talking to Jordan last night. I was kind of struggling to come up with a 5th pick. And then I was listening to them thinking like, all right, cool. This is going to be my 5th pick tomorrow. And then have to remember, oh wait, no, I'm driving. I gotta.
I'm driving. Don't worry about the shit.
I have a responsibility to the other folks on the road here. But yeah, I then put it on when I was working today before shit hit the fan, and pulled out the record today, and it's like, all right, yeah, this is the good 5th pick.
That
band
band
was
and
so killer. So killer.
that band in
live.
that era was one of the best live bands I'd ever seen.
Absolutely.
They were insane how good they were live.
They were still like the last time they played in town at the Bottle in 20.
It was so good.
They ruled. Like I only ever saw them twice, and it was after they had broken up and gotten back together. I saw them in 2009 at Cobra Lounge, and 2016.
Oh, I remember that show.
Times they were just fucking amazing. Like the show at Cobra Lounge, I didn't have an advance ticket because that was before they were really like charging for shows at that place at that point. So I was just like waiting in line for 2 hours to get in, and it was totally worth it. Like I just waited for people to leave so I could just like come through. I think they were playing with the Mannequin Men. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The Mannequin Men were okay. I can't imagine being a fucking garage rock or a punk person, like seeing the Mannequin Men and being like, okay, I'm good. I'm not going to stay for the New Bomb Turks. But it worked for me because I could get in. Like, no offense to the Mannequin Men.
I had to go to work in the morning, Bill. Come on now.
It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday.
Still?
Although, yeah, no, people work on Sundays. But yeah, I put that on because I'm thinking about going to the Empty Bottle for the first time in a while, and just thinking about some of the best shows I've ever seen there. Still the New Bomb Turks, even though they 2016 hadn't been an active band for a really long time. But yeah, there's still just every song on there is just fucking killer. Everything. I can sing the chorus of every song on there, even after not listening to it for a while.
There's a companion piece to that. There's another singles album too. Is it called The Great Combo? Stuff. Something like that. It only came out in Australia, I think. So if you want more, there's even more. Like
I don't know if I have that one. I remember there was another CD where the cover had like an illustration of someone's brain on it.
Oh, it's not that
like
one.
Some of the later singles, but I don't know if I had the other one.
Yeah, I think it's Australia only thing, but it's got totally different material than that one. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the cover songs they did were all so fucking good. Like everything they did was so good.
I forgot there was a New York Dolls cover near the end.
Oh boy, it's so great.
Everything. They were so great. Great pick.
This is the closest I've got to her. This counts as a rager. This is
a
rager. This brings the energy up enough. It brings the average energy up for the rest of my picks. So
nice.
It's good to have variety.
Yeah.
It's good. All right. It's been a great show. Thank you so much. Let me announce next week's show before I forget. Oh, Ebro's coming on next week. There you go. And Derek Moore from Citizen Arrest. I think it's his 3rd time on. And Rich Moody from New York. Going to be a great show. Next Friday, October 20th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Chicago time. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, it's like I can't put all the time zones in the description.
It's hard to remember. You're not here, so yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for having us.
We'll probably talk a little bit after the show. I've got more sports drink to drink.
I have more records back here.
Well, we need the bonus record, Sarah.
Yes. Yeah. After the show.
After we get rid of everybody else.
Yes. All right. Until next time, stay healthy, and I really mean stay healthy. Don't get COVID. It sucks. It's my first time, and it's not very nice. Stay healthy and stay clean.